Hey, how's it going everyone? This is DCSG81 and today I would like to do a comparisons for this latest Mafex Thor from the Avengers Endgame. Okay, so before I begin the comparisons with the other Endgame Thor that I have from other companies, I would like to do a comparisons with the Mafex Infinity War Thor. Now that I put them together, I begin to see a lot of differences. Yes, at first I thought, they just replaced the lower torso with the beer guts, but if you look at it right now, it's entirely different. And the first obvious sign is that the Infinity War Thor armor does have the matte black paint, while the one from the Endgame you can see is slightly more on the glossy side. And the second things I noticed is you can see their skin tone is very different. I'll bring it closer to you and you can have a look. I'm not sure whether it will show on the camera, but from what I see now, the one with the Infinity War is slightly more tanned, while the one from the Endgame is a lot more pale. Even the hands is two different toned. Now let's take a closer look at the armor. You can see even the design is slightly different, especially the belt. You can see how small this one is and how huge the Endgame one is. And even here you can see there are more linings on the Endgame, while the Infinity War is just plain. The arm, you can see that the Endgame one is have a slightly bigger arms. As for the cape, I believe is the same. Let me feel it. Yeah, I think they are pretty much the same cloth, something like a nylon, is it? Yeah. And let's see about the bandy wire. Yeah, it's the same. The bandy wire is just at the side, while the bottom doesn't have any bandy wires. Same goes for the Endgame ones. And the head sculpt, I believe, is the entirely different sculpture here, especially on the skin tone again. Yeah, it's a very different head sculpt there. And still on the Mafex comparison, I would like to compare their weapons, which is the Stormbreakers. So the one on my right is actually from the Infinity War, while the ones on my left is from the Endgame. And you can see, wow, how huge different it is, especially on the handle. Now I understand why they actually says that Mafex has improved it to be more screen accurate. You can see it's so much longer now. He can hold his weapon like this, while this one he can't really do that. And not just the handle, even this portion here is more bigger as compared to the one from Infinity War. You can see that it's like a shrink down version of it, and I'm kind of glad that Mafex actually improved their releases. And next I'll show you the effects part that is coming together, and you can see that it's almost very identical, except for the one from the Endgame is of course bigger, yeah, while the one from the Infinity War is smaller size of the lightning effects. Now I'll start off the comparisons of this Endgame Thor from Mafex with the one from the SH Figuarts. Yes, unfortunately this is not the perfect candidates to compare with him, because this one is not the final battle edition. The final battle edition is basically the same figure, also comes with lots and lots of lightning effects just like this guy here, but this is just the very first regular fat Thor, a very simple figure. There's no lightning effects or whatsoever, but we can still do a comparison because the figure is basically the same as the other one. Okay, so I don't really do this often, but I will actually compare it with a Marvel Legends fat Thor. Yep. Oh, you see, he actually fainted. Okay, so yep. So I kind of think that he deserved to be doing a comparison as well, because it's basically the same figure, the fat Thor. Yep. So I kind of put the Marvel Legends in as well. So let's take a look at the armor first. They are basically, wow, I would say that it's almost identical except all these plates. You can see that some patterns on it, like a lightning patterns, but the one on the SH Figuart is just plain black base. And for the size itself, the one from the Marvel Legends really looks like a fat Thor. You can see he's totally bulky. It just makes me feel like he's really fat, but the one from the Mafex as well as the SH Figuart doesn't really seems like they are fat, but this guy is the one that is really looking fat. Even for the tights, you can see it's so much fatter as compared to this. Still have the skinny tights. Yeah, it looks very unnatural there. Let's just compare between these two in terms of the armor design, and I would say that wow, even the Marvel Legends is something like on par with the Mafex. It looks pretty good together. It still have some very good lining design as compared to this one. It also have it, but the one from the SH Figuarts, as you can see, is just too plain, especially on the pants itself. There is no golden linings. Yeah, it's just all plain black. Yeah, I kind of like the pants on the SH Figuart. You can feel that this one really does looks like a real metal, while this one is I think it needs a little bit more shines. The one from the SH Figuarts does a great job on making it the chain. Yeah, this is something like a chain armor, looks like a real metal here. Beer guts, yeah, I can see that the SH Figuarts one is more prominent as compared to the Mafex one. It just looks like you just finished eating your dinner, just a little bit bump. But the one from the SH Figuarts, you can really see is really really big. And now let's take a look at the cape itself. I'll compare between the SH Figuarts and the Mafex. You can see that the SH Figuarts one, this feels like a nice cloth here. The one from the Mafex looks like a pretty good nylon here. However, the SH Figuarts one doesn't have any of the bandy wire, and they didn't really sew up both of the cloth together. You can see that I can still open it up. I don't know what's their decision of not doing that, but the Mafex one is really nice. It has the bandy wire, even though I'm not sure why they don't want to add a bandy wire at the bottom, just like the Homelander. Yeah, but this one is sewn up pretty nicely. With the Marvel Legends, of course, it's not a cloth at all. It's just a soft plastic, so there's no comparisons here. So I do think that the Mafex does have a better cape with the bandy wire for posing purposes. Now coming up next, let's talk about the articulations of both the Mafex and the SH Figuarts. And since I've just done the review for this Mafex, I will try to do a articulation test on this guy. Start off by the head, and as you can see, it has quite a bit of a hindering on the hair, because this hair is slightly harder as compared to the one from Mafex, so it does have some hindering when turning his head. And the good thing about him is that he comes with a separate piece of the lower hair, but it still hinder the looking up in some way. It's not entirely helpful to have a separate piece. And as for his arm, you can see there are no shivels for this SH Figuarts, and they are only giving a single joint elbow. And as for the torso, I believe it's almost the same. He has a wide range of movement, and this portion, yeah, just not too bad. For his leg, yep, he can kick up pretty good as well, and he have a pull down mechanism. Yep, you can see a more wider range of movement, and there is no swivel, just the same as the Mafex, but he can swivel on the inner joint. And for his knee is a double joint, so it's not too bad. So the SH Figuarts does have a limited articulations as compared to the Mafex. Now let's compare the articulations with this Marvel Legends as well, and yep, he does have some hindering just like the SH Figuarts, but I can see that he have a wider range of movement. Is even better than the SH Figuarts, as you can see. But looking up, yeah, not too bad. And looking down, there he have some problem looking down for this guy. And he does have arm swivels. Yep, even better than the SH Figuarts again. And a double joint elbow. Wow, this is even better than the SH Figuarts articulations. But one thing's for sure, he lose out here is that he only have 1 point of articulations. He doesn't have any articulations on the waist. It's a single big piece here. Yep, so this is where he lose out. And for his leg, he does have a swivels. Wow, not too bad. And a double joint knee. Wow, okay. So other than the missing articulations on his waist, this guy is pretty good. And right up next, we will talk about the accessory that comes with all these 3 different brands. And we all know who is going to be a real winner here. It is the Mafex, which comes with a lot more stuff as compared to what you can see. And the Marvel Legends is just giving the Mjolnir as well as the Stormbreaker, but I must say that they did a pretty good job in making this like it's being lighted up. Yup, it's very nice looking ones, and they even give some lightning effects as well, which doesn't really work that well because I always have a hard time to put it on the figure or even on this weapon. It always drop off. Yep, but it's a good try. As for this SH Figuarts, he only comes with these two because mine is not the final battle editions. While the final battle edition, you can see on the screen now, it just comes with some lightning effects on the body and on the Mjolnir as well as the Stormbreaker. And he also comes with an interchangeable heads, which is basically the same head, just that they painted the eyes blue. And it is worth mentioning that this time around, SH Figuarts does give interchangeable heads instead of swapping faces. But somehow to me, when you put on all the effects part, it looks like he's being electrocuted instead of powering up. But as compared to this Mafex Thor, you can see it looks very nice with all the lightning effects on him. This looks like the lightnings are coming out from his body. Not to mention that this Thor also gives two interchangeable heads as compared to the SH Figuarts, which is just one. And in addition to that, the Mafex does give another set of Mjolnir and Stormbreaker with the powering up effects. Let's do some comparison with the Marvel Legends because both of these are actually powering up. Yep, looks pretty good. And for the Stormbreaker, it's hard to believe that the Mafex one is even bigger as compared to the Marvel Legends because Marvel Legends usually have a bigger stuff as compared to this imports company. And next, let's compare the lightness for both the SH Figuarts as well as the Mafex. And yeah, it does seems to me that the SH Figuarts does have a better resemblance of Chris Hemsworth as compared to the one from Mafex, but the Mafex one does looks pretty good as well. And I'll compare the Marvel Legends one with this lighted up head because this is the only head that comes with the Marvel Legends, and as you can see, the lightness of the Chris Hemsworth on the Marvel Legend isn't too bad as well. And I kind of like how they actually mix the hair, like it's just not one piece by itself. You can see that there's a lot of separate pieces, like a more sculpture here on the hair, and you compare with the Mafex, it's just, you know, one whole big chunk of hair. It's not like as sculpted as this one. As for the hair color, I think that the Marvel Legends is slightly too blonde. I've seen some pictures that it's supposed to look something like this and not entirely blonde like this one. And when it comes to the scale, we all know that from this Mafex, he is slightly taller than he should be. So maybe this slightly shorter SH Figuarts will be the right size, but I still think that he is taller as compared to the Chris Hemsworth height in terms of 1/12 scale. And needless to say, this Marvel Legends is too tall for Thor in a 1/12 scale. Now let's talk about the price for these three figures, and we all know that the Marvel Legends is always being the most affordable one, and this time around for the SH Figuarts as well as the Mafex, it is quite a competition. Of course, this regular Thor that I got is a lot cheaper as compared to the Mafex, but the final battle editions of this guy, if I'm not mistaken, the price is almost the same as the one with this Mafex now. But if you were to look out on their brand itself, like for example Mafex itself, this Thor is reasonably priced, and in terms of the SH Figuarts alone, the final battle one is a lot expensive in terms of the SH Figuarts price range because that piece itself is a Tamashii exclusive, so it's way more expensive as compared to this regular piece. So there you have it guys, all the comparison for all these three brands. I will actually list out all the good things and bad things that you can see right now for all the three of them, and you can actually decide by yourself which one you should get for the Thor from the Avengers Endgame. And I certainly hope that you enjoyed this comparison video, and I'll catch you again in my next video. As always, I hope you will check out this comparison video right over here.